This is pitcher George Kirby of the Seattle Mariners. Look, he had 14 strikeouts, ending the Mariners' 5-game skid, and turns around his own season. Okay? He dominated the Angels during the Mariners' 3-2 victory, racking up a career high. So a career high 14 strikeouts without walking a batter over 7 innings of 2-hit, 2-run ball. So that's a nice performance. Let's watch some of this carefully. That was a nice heater right there for the strikeout. And he freezes this guy. And you're out of here. We're not going to watch all of these, but we're going to watch some. Boop. Not sure if that was like a slider or a curveball or something. I don't know, but dude, you're out of here. So you see he's feeling it right now. Out. You're out of here. Strikeout. So he racks up 14. There's another one. Well, that's a nice little pitch he has there where it just kind of drops right there in the zone. Okay, so 14 strikeouts. Now they've played since this game against the Angels. Look how they lost yesterday to the D-backs. And this game that I'm decoding and breaking down for y'all, this was the June 8th game right here. They won 3-2 over the Angels. And yesterday, again, the Diamondbacks defeated them. That's interesting how the D-backs, they lost to the D-backs. They scored 4. The D-backs scored 8 when Arizona's the 48th state. Arizona also equals 84. Anyways, back over here. Are y'all ready for a 14 fest? Well, I am. But first, he wears 68 on his jersey. He has a career high in strikeouts on 6-8. June 8th. June the 6th month. And the 8th day, he's got 68 on his damn jersey right there. You see that? Career high in strikeouts. Look at Mariners. So he has 14 strikeouts. Mariners equals 43. The team he plays for, that's the 14th prime number. June 8th, 6-8. 6 plus 8 is 14. So 14 strikeouts on June 8th. 6 plus 8 is 14. 14th prime is 43. Mariners equals 43. This game, look at this. His birthday's February 4th. The game on June 8th. There's 4 months, 3 days in between the two dates, even. And remember, 43 is the 13th prime number. This victory over the LA Angels, Los Angeles Angels, LA equals 14 and 41. Angels equals 104, like 14. Don't forget, it's just 4 base ciphers with the language. And it hits all day, every day. Give me a trending story. I expose this language, this number system, and this code that we're all born into. Here, you're going to speak this. It's like, wait a minute, okay. Bam. Some of us later in life find out we've been deceived. Remember, it was pro wrestling. Now politics is being shown as being fake. They're not admitting it though. Sports, this stuff is all scripted. They go to practice the script. You see it's all by the numbers here. Okay, and it's by the language, which I'm showing you the language and the numerical values attached. This dude's name is Kirby. Look at that. Kirby's Block Ball, released for the Game Boy on December 14, 1995. You see that? In Japan? Look at that right there. The 14 Kirby, and our Kirby has 14 strikeouts, and we're loaded with 14s. What are the chances of that? It's all with the language, y'all. So one thing I want to add that's awesome is this game versus the Diamondbacks, which was the follow-up game after this. Not only is Arizona the 48th state in the 4-8 loss, Arizona equals 84. But when I was doing this breakdown, I was entering his name and other stuff, and I'm like, wow, okay, I see a connection with Arizona, and I didn't even know they played Arizona next. Look, George has 105 and 39 like Arizona. George Kirby. There's that 84 with the 8-4 loss to the D-backs the following day. Look, and Arizona even has 42. George has... Oh, I spelled George wrong. But it's still the same thing. You see that right there? You even get 24 with George, 42 with Arizona. But look at the 105. So this all synchronizes with the next game against Arizona. With the 8-4 loss to Arizona. You see that? That's amazing. And I saw some more numbers actually too. I just wasn't going to bring them up during the breakdown because I was unaware of the Arizona connection. But damn. So let's get back to this Kirby connection with this game. I had a Game Boy. I never had that game. But it releases December 14, 1995 with all of the 14s here. Now let's take a deeper look at this game. Kirby's block ball, like baseball, with the 14 connection. What do you think about that? George Kirby. Even when you write out 14, you get 104 like 14. In reduction, you get the 41. And remember, LA equals 14 and 41. Angels 104. You like that? Damn, right? This is what you got to do. You got to go to that calculator. You got to... I think I used to do it. I used to like smoke weed. Like it's been like a solid 10 weeks. And recently when I was smoking, I wasn't heavy into it. But that might have made me more creative on the calculator with just going and exploring with it. But they make the stuff they make it so strong now, man. Like I got to dedicate my whole day to it if I do it. So I haven't done it in a while. But I think I think that made it easier to kind of expand your mind and go to the calculator. I'm not encouraging that. I mean, it's legal over here. I'm just saying um it might open your mind a little bit, but go to the calculator and just play around with the calculator. Enter words that you think may associate together and just see if they match up. And it's amazing what you'll find, okay? But isn't that amazing? The language syncs up with Kirby. You get all the 14s. Remember 4 months, 3 days in between the two dates, his birthday in the game, and 43 is the 14th prime. Mariners 43 the 14th prime. The stuff is amazing. 14 strikeouts. Even George Kirby, look at this. 58. Angels 58. He's got this big game career. Did it say career high in strikeouts? I think is what it said. I think that's what it said. And you see their record there. So so with the loss against Arizona, they're 33 and 32, I think. I don't know if they updated those standings there. I would think so. But you see these teams are close in the standings right here. Man, they were pretty close to being on their 68th game. And there's probably more with the 33, 31, 30 and 34. There's probably more with that. Even George, I showed you, equaled 24. That's his birthday, 2/4, February 4. He's got this big game, you know? Angels equals 32. They lose 3-2 to the Mariners. Yes, it was a career high, 14 strikeouts. That's amazing, isn't it? And then you see the current standings for the Diamondbacks and Mariners there in the follow-up game. But check that out. Isn't that amazing? And Arizona, the 48th state, with the follow-up game there. So let's click on this. Who do they play today again against the Diamondbacks? It's a 3-game series. And that Mariners series, it looks like that was a 3-game series. Angels pick up 2 victories, and then the Mariners pick up the 1 victory, the one we're breaking down right here, 3-2. Right, so let's click on that 3-2 game, and let's just see how the batting was here for the Mariners. Randy Arazarena with an RBI. Jorge Polanco, which Jorge, that's kind of like George, right? And they might pronounce that George. I think sometimes they do. It looks like Jorge. He's got an RBI. Donovan Solano with the RBI. 2 hits for Jorge. 3 for Randy up here. And the Angels, Taylor Ward picks up a home run. And he had 2 RBIs. So it looks like it might have been a 2-run home run. Taylor Ward right there. Okay. So I mean that's a nice easy breakdown. The last video I did is currently being edited for copyright reasons. The UFC 316 breakdown. I'm thinking about, well, obviously it'll be done by the time you see this. That one's going to be dropping first. I hate when that happens. Sometimes you think the video's good, and then you go to sleep, and then you wake up and you find out it's been blocked in all territories. But yeah, that happened. It's okay. So I just like to scan the article and just see if anything else pops, which I'm not really seeing anything. The big thing, these 14 strikeouts here. And there might be something else with the 14 that I'm missing. It happens, right? Remember, this game was on 6-8, and he's got the 68 on the jersey. 6 plus 8 is 14. The thumbnail. So that's amazing with that Kirby connection, right? And then when you write out 14 like that, absolutely amazing. All right, so again, positive vibes. I enjoy being able to do this. I'm thankful that I have a PC to put these breakdowns together. I'm thankful for the screen recorder. I'm thankful for StreamYard when I go live. Even though it's just fake ass YouTube live. But I'm still thankful. Multiple ways to get this information out there. This stuff is all fake, okay? It's all fake. They're all characters on the world stage. George Kirby's 14 strikeout stunner ends Mariners 5-game skid. There may be more with that 5 too that I missed, but ends their 5-game skid and turns around his own season. So what's his record? Is he not doing well or what? 1-3? So he may lose his next game and end up 1-4, y'all. It's young in the season. If any of these stats look bad, they could turn around fairly quickly with a couple good performances, all right? He also had no walks in that game. Gave up 2 hits. Right? So that's a solid game right there. Okay. So that's the breakdown. If there's anything else I missed, please let me know. George Kirby's 14 strikeout stunner ends Mariners 5-game skid and turns around his own season. Shout out. Until next time.